Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Hello.
We got a whole slice of pie over here with a bunch of people on it. That didn't make any sense at all. I just went for it. What's up, Paint Liquor?
A slice of pie with a bunch of people on it.
Yep. Sarcastic Grandpa, Papa Chicken, Bod Tomato N, Rattle Can, Vector, Flapjack Nickel Sack with the impossible to read name on one monitor. What's going on, everybody? Hello. I hope you are all having a wonderful afternoon. It is a very hot day today.
It's not. It just feels like it
Felt
because
pretty hot.
it's still hot.
I feel like
That's the problem with this time of year.
it dipped down pretty
Yeah,
cool
it teased us. It always does.
a couple of days.
Always does.
And then today, like, Gabe and I were, and Philip were driving to lunch, and we were just like,
Yeah,
ugh, we are
Definitely
melting in
tricked
this
us.
car.
It's 104 degrees right now.
It's bad news bears.
Yeah.
It was only
But
107
it
in the
feels
car.
like 110.
Yeah, it does.
And the humidity, 7%.
Hey, that's pretty high.
I don't know how we're not just like dust.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just
So tragic.
desert
We're
life.
just Dribble.
Did we? It's just, talking about weather. Have we looked and see what the weather is? And
I did.
Is it gonna
It's
be
like
nice?
cool.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we get a reprieve, and hopefully by the
Camera
time
makes
we're
me
back.
look like I'm wearing bronzer. Yeah, it was a little warm. Christopher had to come in and turn it down because it was pretty bright when I came in. Like we maybe have it still set a little warm, which is fine. Wrong with feeling a little tan.
If the weather has anything to say about it. All right. What's the
Yeah,
plan
let's
today?
see. So, low 60s, high 50s for highs.
Low 60s, high
Yeah.
50s?
Yeah, so like Tuesday. Well, so you get there Wednesday. The high is 58.
I do get there Wednesday. I'll bring a sweatshirt.
Yeah, bring a sweatshirt. Thursday it has a chance of rain. That's as far as this one.
Great. Sounds spectacular.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
Jen is, you can see the smile on Jen's face. She's very excited about the weather change. Even though you're only going to experience it for like 2 days.
2 days. Yeah, 2 days. That's fine.
Are you also going out of LAX and then back over?
No, so I am going from here to London.
Oh.
And then London to Dusseldorf. And then on the way home, I fly from there to London, London to New York,
And then back.
and then back. Yeah, so I have an extra stop on there.
Okay. That's cool. Oh.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Papa Chicken. T. Schmidt, what's up? Romeo G, what's going on?
Sarcastic Grandpa, thank you for using your Prime sub
Oh, thank you.
on Monument Hobbies.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. If you guys didn't know, those of you who have an Amazon Prime subscription, you get one free Twitch sub every month.
You do. It's true.
But the creator still gets the regular sub amount. So it's an awesome way to support your favorite channel. Appreciate those of you who use it for us. YouTube is like a whole different planet than the stream.
We try to be pretty normal here.
It's a lightly moistened 65-ish in Chicagoland. Doesn't sound too bad. For a considerably dry 104-ish. Right? He's rolling in it. He can afford it.
Excuse me, guys. I'm not rolling in anything. Please.
No. Jeff Bezos.
Oh.
Romeo said to use Jeff's money, not your own. I agree. He can afford it.
He can't afford it.
He could afford to pay for everyone to sub to our channel.
Make that guy pay for it. And also, don't use your mobile phone. Do it from the computer.
Don't use what?
Don't use your mobile phone for subs either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like $3 more expensive.
Oh, that's right. I think I do remember hearing that.
Yeah. It's
log
ridiculous.
into your desktop or your laptop for a minute.
Because they have to pay Amazon, or yeah. Oh no, they have to pay. Was it? They have to pay the Apple
They
Store.
auto renew when you put it on the phone, right?
It will auto renew for the new amount.
Maybe it's the Prime that does.
Well, Prime doesn't auto renew because it's free.
Computer only for Twitch subs. Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like $8.50 or something like that, which is insane. For the record,
What's insane?
The cost difference. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's like $2.50 more.
Apple.
They do.
What if you don't use Apple? What if you're an Android phone?
The Google Store still charges them.
Oh.
Yeah. And anytime money changes hands on the Play Store or on the Apple Store, they take a cut.
Huh.
They run the.
So anytime you have an app that has like subscriptions, there's going to be extra.
Usually.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or it's built into
They
the
built
cost
in.
of the.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a good point, Wad. You can use your browser on your phone and choose desktop.
Oh, there you go.
Google charges more. Yeah, so if you just go on your computer, get half the time to renew my Prime subscription. Your Prime subs
Yeah.
for
probably.
on Twitch or your actual Amazon Prime subscription, because that probably
Well, that should be automatic.
Yeah.
The Twitch Prime is specifically not automatic. They do it on purpose so you won't use it. Those sneaky guys. Trying to get you guys to not use your free stuff.
Nothing's free.
Oh, yeah, technically you are paying for it. But since everybody and their mother and all of their siblings have Apple, or not Apple, but Amazon Prime, it's kind of.
I know God, Ben, excited to see Devondra.
Oh, let's go! What's up, Ben?
Papa Chicken wants to know what's left.
On Devondra?
Yeah.
So we got to do all this gray, which I think is the goal for today, is to get all the gray done. Which includes the leg parts here, the arm, the hands, the torso bit here. I might try and find some like fun piece of the shoulder pad that makes sense to do in gray. That way it's not all one color. Maybe like the inside bottom part, or I don't know, something here needs to have a little bit more color on it. But we're gonna use the image as guideline, and we're gonna go from there.
Overlord, hello. And on some Cyberpunk Red minis for use in Reality's Edge. I don't know
Interesting.
what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Or maybe we'll let Ben decide.
Oh.
What do you think, Ben? Should we do a little bit of gray on the shoulder pads, or maybe a little bit of orange somewhere? I'll let you pick. Your character. Your vision. Let me make it a reality.
Thought Reality's Edge was the Star Wars Disney park at first. What is that called? The Star Wars thing at Disney.
What's it called? Orange?
Yeah, say Ben said orange.
Okay. We're doing orange then.
Uh-oh. Likely harasser. 2 of them all at the same
Oh
time.
my
What?
goodness. Get him out of here. It's called Galaxy's
Get outta
Edge.
here.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of Star Wars, Jen, you probably won't be
Hang on,
super.
Let me get this. You go ahead. I don't know.
Yeah. I started watching Acolyte last night, and it's not as bad as people said it is. It's fine. Also, thank you, Ben. I appreciate that very much. I'm pretty stoked. We're going to have 2 here done before I go to Germany, which is super exciting. So we'll do some orange. I'm thinking we could do the inside part of the shoulder pad as orange. Like this part here.
Oh, yeah.
And then leave the top part as green. That could be cool. Or we could do the top part as orange and leave the bottom part as green. And maybe we do these little like scythe things as gray. Could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a bit of a departure from the art, but the art is definitely a lot less complicated than the actual design here. Follow my beautiful heart. Okay. Duly noted. I appreciate it. I'll have to think on that. I think it could go either way. I'm not sure which my heart tells me yet. But it's great to hear that you're really excited about it and you think that they're looking great. So
Kate Licker said hard disagree, baby J. I don't know what agreeing with though.
yeah, about Acolyte probably? Yeah.
Oh, probably.
It okay. As a show without following any of the Star Wars lore, it's a fine show. If you just disconnect it from any sort of previous this doesn't make sense because it's Star Wars thing, it's fine. Because I don't know enough about Star Wars to know or care. Okay. It's just a decent Star Wars story. It doesn't dig too deeply into the things that we've seen before. Man, let me tell you how old the I'll wait for you to finish. Yeah, I have 2 episodes left or something. It doesn't so far. It doesn't dig super hard into the Skywalker stuff because none of that stuff existed yet.
Okay.
So they don't have to worry about being the Skywalker. They don't use the same lines repeated over, which it did it get canceled? I don't know. It's still on whatchamacallit.
Is it on Disney or
It's on Disney. Yeah.
Disney.
But I was like, I'll throw it on and see how bad it is.
Is it new or no? It's not. It's not a new show?
It came out 6 months ago. Oh yeah,
okay.
it did get canceled.
No more seasons.
It's one and done.
Just one and done. But I mean, does it? Well, you don't know because you haven't finished it. It wraps up at the end, or does it leave you
it's
I watched this and I wanted to know what was.
My understanding is that it doesn't completely end. It doesn't have an end.
So they weren't prepared for it to be done necessarily.
Well, I didn't think that they thought it was going to get panned as hard as it did.
Okay.
It really got
that always sucks when you have a show
brutal
and they do the whole season and maybe it's not hugely popular, but some people like it.
Oh,
and
they
then
cliffhangered
it ends
it?
and it never you don't ever get to find out what happens.
That I think is going to be one of these situations.
They cliffhanger the ending hard, and then you're never going to find out
because
it got canceled.
Yep.
That really stinks.
Yep.
I would probably not watch it going in if I knew that. Not that I would watch this anyway, but if it was a show I was interested in and I found out that it's going to leave you hanging and you're never going to find out the end, I probably wouldn't watch it.
Yeah. That I did not know going into this. But even then, I don't really care because I'm not super invested. So It's one of those things where I'm I knew that everybody had said it was bad going into it. So I was like, great, I'm just going to watch some bad television for a little while I'm painting some stuff. And it's not great.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's got that Disney feel, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And then in some places it just doesn't, which is very bizarre. Like,
Yeah.
Disney has a particular way that they handle, like, stuff. It tends to be fairly light. They don't overly feature people dying
Yeah.
and stuff. There's an episode where, like, a lot of people die.
Wow.
Like you see them get killed.
Oh, wow.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. Especially for a Disney show. I was like, this feels pretty pushed for a Disney.
Scrap $5.95. Thank you for the sub.
For those of you who have
Dramus,
seen the
thank
show,
you. I don't know if I said thank you, but thank you.
you likely know what I'm speaking of.
Blood Walrus said the little ornament above the shoulder plate matches the little symbols on the thighs. White to match? Like, would you paint it white?
Ooh, I like it. I don't know if white, but definitely like a light gray. So we could do something like this.
Yeah, because the stuff on the legs is not really white, right? It's gray.
I mean, it's like a white blue.
Yeah.
But it's glowing. This is
Yeah.
not glowing.
Okay, gotcha.
So I wouldn't paint it like a glow.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they still might do like a comic or something. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled that out of their hat. Seems great.
I do look very gold over here.
You do look a little gold over there. Yeah, something with the camera that's
Yeah,
just very warm. All right, using a little bit of Payne's gray plus that warm gray. Do a little bit of shading for these areas of gray. Oh wow, that I did not remove extra water from that. Okay. One of the tricky things about painting with gray, especially gray that's like super duper matte, is including a little bit of color in it can help get your blends to feel a little bit more natural. When it's just really stark, it can be kind of difficult to get it to feel right. But throwing a little bit of that cool shadow color into it work a lot better. And it's not too dark, so it doesn't feel weird.
What did you put in?
I mixed in a little bit of Payne's gray.
Okay.
Oh, gee. Woo, that was close. Okay. Bring out a little bit more of that gray. It was so funny when we were at Gen Con this year.
Mm-hmm.
The sculptor who sculpted these was there.
Oh.
and she had an opportunity to see them in person, which was really cool.
That's very cool.
It was neat to see something that you've created or inspired come to life, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It was cool to see the moment where you see the kind of the lights in their eyes go really bright with excitement.
Yeah. I think I made that.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like when you do box art.
Yeah.
For a studio, and the first time that you ever see like a model on the shelf with the painting, like your model on it, is really cool.
Yeah.
It's just a little fun. Bohan, I do not know this artist.
The artist Bohan want to emulate his style on my next project, but use an airbrush instead of dry brush to I work with paintings. Do you have any ideas? To me, Google. Getting pictures of the guy.
We need more information about this artist. There's more than you would think, Rattlecan. There's a decent amount of people out there who've done box art.
I'm getting Ivan Bohan. It's just pictures of him. Jason isn't here. I was going to ask him if he was excited to play Mech Warrior 5 Clans when it hits in October. I don't know. He's not here.
No
Can't
idea.
answer that.
That one I can't help you with.
Yeah. Bohan miniature painter on Instagram. Well, I'm not here. Oh, okay, there we go. Those look like miniatures.
Interesting.
So you're trying to emulate his style, but use an airbrush instead of dry brush stippling. So he does all this with a dry brush?
I was about to say, it looks like it's stippled.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hard with where I'm sitting, but the thing is, the stippling leaves a very particular kind of texture. So if you're trying to replicate that sort of style, you really should be using stippling for it. You can replicate the lighting, but you're never going to be able to replicate the texture with an airbrush. Because that airbrush is going to give you that super smooth finish. And if that is not what you're looking for, as a result of trying to mimic somebody else's style, which is great. There's nothing wrong with it. It can be a really great way of like learning from the way that they do their painting. I think that if you're doing that, it's important to follow exactly the way they do it, because otherwise you're losing out on some of that experience of figuring out why they make the decisions that they do. I'm definitely a big fan of watching people do things and learning from the way that they do certain things. Mimicking the way that they paint, mimicking the way that they approach painting, etc., can be a really informative way of learning about the miniature painting art.
So Papa Chicken says that the problem is that he's painting 40K Titans and I'm painting Battletech, so I'm struggling to make it work with stippling.
Oh, I see. I see. The things that you're trying to paint are much smaller than the things that he's trying to paint. I mean, I feel like you could probably make the stippling work with something at a Battletech size. Um, you just have to be a little bit more nuanced with it. But I think also that style works well on bigger things because you can get that sort of stippling in. It may not be the right style or the right way to get that sort of effect on a smaller miniature. It's one of those like right tool for the right job sort of problems, right? Because you can definitely stipple a BattleTech mech. Like, that'll 100% work. All right, this is the thing that I was thinking about doing earlier that I decided I want.
YouTube telling me again, telling me yet again to guard my privacy, which is why I'm telling you that my real name is Frame Relay.
Hi, Frame Relay.
Fromer Elay.
Fromer Relay.
Fromer Elay. Damned Elay. Fromer Elay. They're related. Distant relatives. Panic Bomb, hello.
What's up, Panic Bomb?
And also, how considerate of YouTube to be so concerned about your privacy.
Nice. Okay. I think that gray adds a decent bit, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I like where we. Oh, I got to do the feet. The footsies.
I don't know who said farmer. I said frame.
Armor frame.
Right, Google absolutely famous for not selling information. Video game archaeologist, thank you for that sub.
What's up?
Today is
Thank
sub
you.
Day.
It is a big sub day.
Source, hello. Video game archaeologist said that green pops so well, Jordan. I think the gray is really making it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the more that you sort of carve out the details around the like brighter colors and the primary colors of the things that you're painting, the more that those things really jump out at you. So when you kind of you add all that dark gray, which we'll brighten it up, but that dark gray right now really has a lot of contrast with the rest of the miniature, which looks really nice. And I actually probably would like to keep it a little bit on the darker side. And in the art, it's quite bright. it's like a really light gray, which I think would also look good. It would clash a little bit more with the green. Kind of like the way that the green is right now. So we'll start highlighting it and we'll see how far we get. And I think my plan is to throw a wash over all of this gray as well to darken it up one more stage, and then we'll start bringing it up from there. But that'll also give us a lot of the like shaded recess detailing, which will look really, really nice.
Great Farmer didn't realize you were on YouTube.
Oh, jeez. I strayed to the dark side.
Game Delay said I spent months trying to make my highlights brighter before I learned I also needed to make my shadows darker.
Yep. Yep.
Safely home on Twitch. Got a little sketchy. Tube the Wild West.
Actually, you know, that's really funny. One of those things that people just don't intuitively get when painting is they always try to paint brighter and brighter and brighter, when most of the time the answer is actually to make things darker. We tend to not be able to achieve the full level of brightness that we're looking for with just kind of the native color of things. And a lot of us need to remember that the spectrum of light and dark goes all the way from black to all the way to white, right? So you want to start on one end and you want to move all the way to the other. Safely home now on Twitch. Got a little sketchy there. Gotta keep myself nice and refreshed. Nice little post-recording session with. We went with Philip and Gabe and I went to go have lunch. It was very nice.
Nice lunch at Cane's.
It was at Cane's, yeah.
Yeah, fancy Cane's lunch today.
Hey, you know what? Gabe had enough time being fancy today.
Gabe was pretty fancy today.
We did a funny thing that I can't talk about yet.
New stuff coming up.
But
new content.
You'll know it when you see it. I'll at least tell you that Gabe was wearing a suit. Looking like a dapper fellow. Nope. Definitely not that.
Oh, no. Nothing edible. Never get to come on Twitch anymore? Video game? All you do is school stuff and always end up behind on work anyway. The VODs will always be here for you. Well, they'll be on YouTube for you.
Yes. And we will always share.
Battle can add that primes over a beautifully painted mini incoming. Would actually be funny.
That actually would be really funny. Gabe, put it on the whiteboard.
Put it on the whiteboard, Gabe. Be a little Easter egg for you guys. Everybody else watching it be like, why would they do that?
Like, what are you doing? That's true. Every single other person in the world who's not part of our Discord or part of chat, they're like, what are you, why?
Surprisingly easy to think of Gabe as a dapper fellow. Give that man some wingtips and a camel-colored suit.
Actually, you know what's really funny about this? I can see Gabe as being the type of person that wears light-colored suits. Yeah.
A hipster.
That's not even necessarily like a hipstery thing. That's just like a. I think he could rock a light-colored suit.
Gabe is. I would not call Gabe a hipster. I know he's the hipster Gumby, but
he is the hipsteriest of the rest
anyone
of us.
here. Yeah, that's true. Jade and Chuck, hello.
Hello. Welcome back, you wonderful nerds.
Range of pre-nooshed weathering tones in female bottles.
Somebody wants pre-mixed noosh.
Oh.
Is what that is.
Oh, we're not talking about a new product. A new commercial.
Yeah. We're recording the commercial. The content of which I cannot tell you. Except for the fact that Gabe was wearing a suit. What was I wearing? I will not tell you.
Oh.
I can confirm that I was not wearing pants.
We're not wearing pants?
I was wearing shorts.
Oh.
I realized that you're HR and I needed to clarify. It's important that I clarify to HR that I was still maintaining proper social norms according to
Speaking
how
of
I should be
HR,
dressed.
Jade's got an update from Adventures in Fabrication. The kid who caught himself on fire and has been working the last week now has to take a week off per a doctor, but didn't think to get the paperwork stating such correction. That's, yeah. I mean, he was on fire a week ago, so...
Isn't that kind of stream, Jordan? Well, you guys don't think I have legs, so you know. Also, Jade, that person should definitely got a doctor's note.
Yeah.
That seems like.
So, is anyone really questioning? Like, I would assume that.
I mean, it depends on.
And how did he not go to the doctor right away?
Well, it sounds like the person did.
But he's been coming to work.
Oh no! Yeah, I didn't read that part.
Yeah,
oh,
no.
okay. Has been working the last week, and now is told by the doctor
Yeah,
that you
now
shouldn't.
he has to stay home.
I kind of thought it would be common sense to get the note. Ben, oh, that's so good.
He just.
I take treads. This should be my
That's
icon.
yeah, that's
Me
it.
with a big paintbrush
That's
and
it.
tank treads for legs.
I need it to be animated though.
Oh my gosh, Ben, you're victorious. You've created the Baby J logo.
Paint liquor, as someone who got major leg burns, you also didn't go to the doctor. What? But did yours happen at work? Because what I learned when I broke my foot at work is that you tell them immediately and they immediately send you to the doctor.
Yep.
It happened in Brazil. Okay, well, that's a little different than catching yourself on fire when you're welding in a factory in the Midwest. You were kind of working, you took a Molotov to the legs. Okay, well. I think that's a little different. I don't know if you're covered by workers' comp. They just expect it.
You say it's like kind of not a big deal? Took a Molotov to the leg, not
He
a
said
big
he was
deal?
kind of working
Oh.
because he said he had severe burns on his legs and didn't go to the doctor. And that's when I asked, were you working? Because workers' comp, you've got to go to the doctor right away. And said he was kind of working, took a Molotov to the legs.
Well, that sucks.
Which I assume means that it was a military. Was military in Brazil though? Okay, Paint Liquor, yeah. If you want to share,
What was your job
I think we have
Russia?
questions.
I don't know. This kid burned last Tuesday, decided to go to urgent care Friday.
Oh, not till Friday.
They told him to go to a burn unit
You think?
type doctor. And then today at 3:45, he calls me to give that update. I asked him if he's got the paperwork so I can submit it to insurance. He then realized he didn't follow my direction of gather and submit everything to me.
Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
I'm going to be honest. This sounds like somebody who would have lit themselves on fire on
Yeah,
accident.
it kind of does.
Like-
I'm less surprised now about the whole fire from the beginning.
Yeah. I'm sorry that you have to herd cats,
Yeah.
Jade. Like, I'm a silly, forgetful kind of guy, and I know that every time anything like that even remotely happens, you get a doctor's note,
Yeah.
you go immediately,
Yeah.
and you are super transparent with the people that you work for.
Yeah.
If
Especially
something
if
like
it
that
happens
happened
at
to me,
work.
I would be telling Jen and Jason
I mean-
the minute that it happened.
Fire Marshal Bill vibes for sure. Oh gosh.
Some black wash. We're gonna do my slight variation on the black wash. We're gonna do black wash, a little bit of glazed wash medium, and then a wee bit of water.
Hey, Gosu.
Go Sue, what's going on?
Says the man who turns up to a commercial shoot not wearing pants.
Hey, hey, hey! You know what? Gabe wasn't wearing shoes.
Oh. You know that?
I don't know why.
I mean, you didn't see his feet. Probably. Maybe you did. I don't know.
I mean,
haven't seen it.
we were sitting in behind a chair.
Table. Dave just walks. I mean, I would walk around barefoot all the time if I could.
Me too. Oh my
You just
gosh.
gotta wear shoes sometimes.
I hate wearing shoes.
Especially here.
Yes.
Kick anything or step on anything or drop a big bucket of paint on my toes.
Yep. The fact that I can't wear flip-flops here makes me very sad.
Yeah,
But, you know what? Safety is important.
it is. Jade, you've gone 24 years of working without needing to submit an incident report. That's impressive.
Good on you for keeping
This
everybody
kid-
safe.
This kid's there for less than 2 months.
Oh gosh, this guy's only been here for 2 months?
2 months.
Ugh.
Already on fire.
Doesn't look great. This is not
I'm excited for your new
looking great.
opportunities for growth. New experiences after 24 years.
Oh gosh.
You look for your Crocs now.
I've heard good things. They are just ugly.
Yes.
They're terrible
I know people who
looking
love them.
shoes.
I just don't know how you get past the way they look.
Yeah, right? Because they just don't look good. And like, I'm not a huge, like, gotta have swanky, awesome looking shoes kind of guy. But I can at least respect the fact that, like, we gotta step it up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my shoes come off as soon as I get home.
Oh, same.
Have I talked about this before? That Jason and I are so opposite in this.
Oh, does he
Like
wear
he
shoes
gets
all the
up in
time?
the morning and puts clothes on, including shoes,
Oh,
even if
God.
he's not going anywhere. Like on Saturday morning, he'll get up and just put shoes on. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, just in my office. I'm like, but you're in the house. Why do you need shoes on? It's just
Jason's
mine
preference.
go off the minute I get in the house.
Yep. Free the
If
toes.
it were acceptable, I would not wear shoes.
What about socks? Are you shoes and socks off?
I don't like socks
Okay,
unless,
cool.
but my feet do get cold. So like I have socks on with my shoes. But if I'm at home and my feet are cold, I want like a fluffy, soft pair of socks. I don't want just like regular socks. They have to be fancy and cozy.
Okay, I mean, I can respect that.
Yeah. Otherwise, no, I don't wear socks at home. I cannot sleep with socks on.
Yep,
Source said
yep.
I used to sleep with socks. I cannot sleep with
I
socks on.
can't do it.
Socks rock. And I was about to get on my bike when the kid called me. I had to spend time updating HR and the company president. Guess what I ended up not doing? Going on a bike ride, probably.
Dang, screw this
Kid.
guy.
That
Not
kid, I
letting you
swear.
go for a bike ride. That takes it too far.
Crocs are awesome if you don't look down. Bomba's slipper socks. Okay. I will look into that. I just saw on my Instagram feed an ad for Bomba's compression socks. It's like they've been listening to me talking about taking a long airplane trip. Tell me the compression socks. I will be getting, by the way. But we went on the. Did I tell you about our barefoot hike that we went on when I went to Flagstaff a couple
Yes,
weeks
you
ago?
did.
It was amazing.
Ugh,
That was really cool.
that sounds amazing to me. As somebody who agrees wholeheartedly with your preference on not
Yeah.
wearing shoes,
There were a couple
Believe
spots
you
that
me.
were not comfortable, but for the most part, just walking through the forest with no shoes on. Really nice. So back to Paint Liquor's story. Paint Liquor said, I spent some time in Brazil as a missionary back when so it was missionary work, not military. Someone was grilling using alcohol. So they were like using that as a way to,
an accelerant of some
oh
kind.
my goodness. And was walking by, a bottle caught fire, and they tossed it at me.
At me, great. Thanks,
Into
person.
a hose with melted polyester coating my legs, walked 15 minutes home through dirt streets, and sat in the shower as I pulled melted. Oh my gosh, Paint Liquor. Spent 3 weeks bandaging my legs to prevent infection and still walked 20 miles a day. Never got infected. Most times I go see a doctor. It would take a few weeks to see. That is crazy.
I'm glad you're okay.
That you were not hurt worse. Because that is, not the way to have a barbecue.
Also, don't throw burning bottles of alcohol on your friends.
Well, I don't think it was.
Oh. Well, not anymore, clearly.
Said it's surreal that I'm having more of a sympathetic reaction to the missionary part than the on fire part. Being strongly religious is an experience. Video game has flippy floppies to wear around the house. Socks are an unneeded layer that just make your feet sweat. I agree. Unless it's cold.
Yeah, I'll throw socks on if it's like really cold.
Flapjack said generally once I put socks on for the day, they stay on until I go to bed, but I don't put them on until I have to.
In fact, I will go home, take my shoes off, throw on my flip-flops, and then go out to whatever I have to do that evening.
Yeah.
Like,
let your feet breathe.
Yep.
Did video game archaeologists call them flippy floppies? Are those bright colored?
Flippity flops.
Flippy floppies.
Oh.
Takes less time from Chicago to LA, Maricopa than it does to Chicago to Maricopa direct on it. Chicago to LA to Maricopa. Oh, weird. Maricopa, like the town or the county? Because Maricopa is not really close to us. So if you guys are looking at that as your destination, it's not super close to where we are right now. I mean, it's probably like an hour in a car. But that being said, the town of Maricopa, okay. Interesting that they have an Amtrak station.
As always, I forget that Paint Liquor is local.
Anakin, no, the YouTube stream is streaming. There's people over there watching. 4Pig Bacon is there right now. Game Delay is there right now. Or Frame Relay, actually.
Frame Relay.
Melted the calluses on your feet. Oh my gosh.
What?
It's best to Paint Liquor.
Is this about the Molotov?
Yeah.
Ugh. Ugh.
You watch on YouTube because Twitch is gross. What's gross about Twitch? Station of Maricopa is like an outdoor closet where they kick people out of a moving train. I can see that. All right, we're going to slow it down a little bit and open the door, grab your stuff, and jump. Everything is wrong with Twitch? Okay. You don't get emotes on Twitch or on YouTube. 4Pig Bacon is currently suffering trying to paint plaid.
Hey.
Why would you do that?
Woohoo! This is what you get, chat.
What kind of crazy person would ask you to paint plaid?
Jason. He decided on it, not me.
I know.
I'm not taking the fall for this one.
It's right there, source. YouTube. Monument Hobbies channel. You'll see live, I think comes up at the top. Give up on plaid halfway through the month. Oh.
No.
There's still time.
There is still time.
What is Jordan doing? He's painting. He's right there.
Hi. My name is Jordan.
That's him.
Also known as Baby J. I exist.
He is
I do
painting Devondra, which is a miniature based on a character from Age of Angra. Our game. Oh, good. Game delay. I thought you said you gave up. I thought you meant you gave up on the challenge, but you finished. Okay, good. 4Pig Bacon said, if I finish this, please don't forget me this month. Did you forget 4Pig Bacon in the...
We took care of 4Pig Bacon. One, we did end up looking at it before the end of stream.
Okay, good.
And thank you for reminding us. It happened. It was one of those weird things where I stopped doing the challenge, or like the challenge document halfway through because I needed to go do something. And
then you lost
I
your
was
place or
paused
something?
on 4Pig Bacons.
Yeah.
And then when I went back through, I skipped it because I thought I had done it, and I forgot.
Yeah.
So, but 4Pig Bacon did receive a challenge coin.
Good.
So, chat spoke, and we responded. They spoke up for you. They wanted you to have a challenge coin. And we also decided that we wanted you to have one.
I was not here that day. So
No, you were not. It was Shelby, Jason, and I.
Not responsible for any of those things happening.
We got love for it for Pig Bacon. Also, I'm glad we ended up looking at it because it was an awesome submission.
Man, YouTube has a lot of restream bots. Yeah.
Yeah, what the heck?
A lot more restream bots than on.
I have the
than
plaid
people watching
portion on
YouTube.
mine done, but the rest of the model is not. It is 95% of the model plaid? Because
You
if
still got
so,
time. It's only
you're
the
doing it
24th. You still have 6 days.
it's only the 24th. Yeah, you have 6 days left. Right.
I mean, 5 and a quarter probably, because let's be honest, today's almost
Nope.
over.
Nice. Way to go.
Oh,
Oh,
that's Source.
hi,
Okay,
Source.
checking out the YouTubes.
Oh, seeing what it looks like from the other side. Is the grass indeed greener on the other side?
Got a lot of YouTube or a lot of restream bots.
Apparently. That's what they say.
Bots.
That's what they say. I don't know if I believe it. Oh.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Jade.
Your evening airbrushing fake nails. Nice.
I bet it's Tubier over there.
Stubier over on the YouTube.
Yeah, Twitch is a little twitchy though.
It actually was twitchy. Well, our internet was twitchy.
Gosh darn it, silly internet.
A little bit. It's not too bad. It seems to be okay now.
Hi, zombie. What's up? How you doing? Hello. Good afternoon.
Less frame loss. I don't know how that works.
I have no idea how any of that works. It's some nonsense.
I know which buttons to push. That's about it. I
Pushing
remember them
buttons.
most days. Some days I look at everything here and I panic for a second. Like, how do I do this? Then it comes back.
I feel like you're pretty solid with all the on the stream stuff.
Yeah, but as before I push buttons, a lot of times I will stop and be like, okay, which button do I have to push to make this work?
Yeah.
It's not just natural. Have you gone to Paradise Valley Burger yet? Have we told you about this?
No? Paradise Valley Burger?
It's amazing.
Do tell.
I just it just came up because I saw a post that they're moving.
Oh.
They're moving up by Old World.
Oh. Well, maybe I will have
October
to partake.
25th
Is when they open?
is
Or-
when they're yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. They were it's one of the places that was on like diners, drive-ins
Oh,
and
okay.
dives.
Cool.
And they have like their signature burger is called a brulee burger.
Okay.
It's a burger and it's got like a fried egg on it and it's got a brulee bun. So it's like they butter and sugar it and then
Oh.
it's really good.
Oh. Okay. You have my attention now.
It's good. Video window is bigger on Twitch. Question for Baby J from Zazen. What's the difference between a mid-level paint job? Oh, this is different for every person you ask, probably. So maybe you're just taking a survey and checking with Baby J. What's the difference between a mid-level paint job and a display level one? Depends on the person.
Well, display I would say is a couple steps higher than what I would consider to be a mid-level paint job.
Right, but
Right. So
but it's always going to vary by the person painting, right?
yeah. Yeah. I would say a display level paint job is the best thing that you are capable of painting.
Okay.
A display level paint job is like the apex of your skill at the time that you are currently painting it. The interesting thing is, immediately following that, your display level is higher than it was before. Because I believe that every single time you paint something to a display level, you learn enough that the next one will be better. So you're always in a level of like progressing to be better and better and better there.
Or Pig, I feel like we were just talking about that place. I don't know. Nope, permanently closed. Demon Winter's worst day is your what? Are you okay? I feel like I understand what you're asking. That a Golden Demon Winter's worst paint job is comparable to what from you? Is that what I'm
Let me read the.
Demon Winter's worst day is your what?
I mean, the thing is, every. So, okay. So.
Right. Okay. See, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is like a lot of people think that the worst paint job a Golden Demon Winter could do would be way better than what like I could do.
Sure.
Yeah.
It also depends on where and when the Golden Demon was received, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look at Golden Demons from 5 to 10 years ago, they are not as good as they are now. Not even close. So the quality requirements have gone up considerably in the last, 10 years. So yeah, recent, right? So I don't believe that you should only be comparing your skill level to yourself.
Yeah.
It is not fair for you to compare your skill level to somebody else because
whether they win a Golden Demon or not, like, don't compare your work to, even as saying like, oh, my work is so much better than that person's. It goes both ways. Like, don't be hard on yourself because you're not painting at, like, you can't make something look like something that's in a case in a competition, but also, give yourself room enough to grow that you're not looking at yours saying, I'm so much better than that guy.
Yeah, you can look at other people's work and go, this piece of work is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inspired to get better.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I do. I don't go look at, people who are better than me and go, man, I'm never going to be able to do this. It's not. You should look at your own work and go, how can I take myself from this level to this level? Yeah, you put yourself in a position where you have goals. And I mean, you can have a goal that says, I want to get a Golden Demon. But you also need to like practice and put the time in, right? It's like anything, right? If I want to win a triathlon or something, like, I have to train and train and train and train and train and train and train to get myself to the position where I would even be able to even attempt to do one. You know what I mean? But like, I could do it. There's nothing that's physically holding me back from being able to achieve that goal, except for me just doing the thing, right? Also, what Gozu said, you should always just have fun, right? If you're not having fun, you're not learning. Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison for the point of specific critique, it is valuable to a point. Oh yeah, I mean, I could paint the heck out of Smoke. But I have other projects that require my time that are going to be a better investment of my time right now, or are more close to getting Golden Demons done, my Golden Demon project done, which is the real goal for next year, right? Of which I'd like to get a good chunk of it done on stream. I just have to prep it first. Because I won't clean and assemble models on stream. I won't do it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
boring.
very fun to watch. Unless I'm doing sculpting, or unless I'm
Yeah.
doing, something specific where it's like, this is something that you guys need to know about, then it's not great watching content. Gosu, I'm going to do, at least, I'm going to do Fulgrim. And I'm going to do the big one, Big Daddy Fulgrim.
Big Daddy.
Fulgrim
Big
Transfigured.
Daddy Fulgrim.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be really tough. It's a very large model, very complicated model, and there are a lot of parts. So there's a lot of cleaning. There's a lot of prep work. I'm gonna have to paint it in sub-assemblies. I have to come up with the theme and the story that I want to tell, which means I need to do a little bit of research into Fulgrim and the characters so that I can find something that is cool in the lore that I can do as a part of the diorama. But I will definitely be going all out on it. So you guys will be able to see that, which will be very cool.
You get chat's responses to Jordan before you hear what Jordan says. Sounds like you have a little delay.
Game delay.
Game delay.
But yeah,
Shouldn't surprise you. It's in your name.
TLDR for the last conversation, try not to compare yourself to other people's work. Compare your current project to your last piece. And when you're looking at other people's models, don't look at it and go, I can't ever do this. Look at it and try and understand what they did to get to the steps that they did. Like, how did they go from point A to point B, right? Those are the things that I try and look at. When I look at somebody's model that I'm like, this looks incredible, I analyze it. I look at it and I go, what did they do to get here? How are they doing this? And it's a fun little project in your brain. You're going, I don't know how they did this. Let me try and figure it out. How would I try to achieve this same sort of thing?
Yeah.
And then file that back in your brain and then try it someday.
Well, and knowing the colors is only a tiny part of it, right? Because like I used to see that a lot. People be like, oh, that looks so good. What colors did you use on it?
Right.
And like there's so much more to that.
It's so much less about the colors as it is about how the colors are applied.
Yeah.
The technique for application is harder to figure out than the colors that they used. Because you can just use normal understanding of how color mixing works to figure out what colors to use, right? But that's a skill that you need to learn, right? So along your stepping stones of getting to that level, one of the things is figuring out how to look at other people's work and how to analyze it and how to learn from it. There's also learning how to mix colors, learning how to look at a color and figure out what color, how to make it, right? Those things are all really, really important. And once you figure out how to mix your own colors, it unlocks so much for you. Because then you stop asking, like, what colors did you use?
Yeah.
Then you start going, well, I know how to make the color, so that I don't have to think about that.
Yeah.
The next question is, how did you apply it? And that's way more important.
Right. Yep. File needs, the model is Devandra. It's from, I mean, it's not needed for our game, but it's based on a character from our game Age of Angra.
Yeah, Iterator, 100%. Color theory is incredibly useful. It is one of the building blocks of painting and building blocks of art, frankly.
Game delay, I don't always get a chance, right? Especially when like there's a really good conversation going on. You guys are talking, I'm just here reading everyone's chats, and I see something good and I'm gonna laugh. And I love it when you guys know that it's yours that I read. Game delay said that he said, I admit I'm a sucker for those moments when Jen sees my jokes and laughs even if she never reads them.
You got to read them when they can, because I don't always look at chat, so no. I don't know what she's laughing at half the time.
Well, but if it's not like, sometimes it's just like a conversation between two people in chat.
Oh, okay.
For example, we talked about the delay, game delay being on a delay, that I thought my username was a good idea once, and then Paintlicker said, your stream delay now, and game delay's response was, I'm not that old, Paintlicker, my prostate is fine.
Jeez.
Which made me giggle. Look at other people's models and assume they paid the neighbors' kids to paint for them. I think I read that one. Did I read that one? I found myself walking around and looking at all the real life things and thinking, how can I paint that? Exactly.
Yep. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
We've talked about that a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
Taking pictures of things that you see interesting in the outside world and using them later.
Reference is that other thing. I always yell at people about reference. Always. Yeah. Use references. You know what fantastic artists do when they're painting stuff? They all use reference.
Yeah. Derpstick got burnt red and bold pyro red yesterday. Tested it on a spare Space Marine. Great colors. Mixed the burnt red with warm brown and got a nice red leather color out of it. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Loving it.
You stare at your doorknob way too long. Is it round? Are you looking at like how the light hits the rounded part? Because I'm fascinated by stuff like that. Because I can see it, and I can look at something and I can see where it is, but I feel like I have a hard time replicating it in painting.
The thing that I always try to remind myself sometimes when it comes to like painting is if I can perfectly discern, like I try to think of it kind of like a computer sometimes. It's like when I break it down, all I need to do to be able to make this thing look exactly like it needs to look is put the right mix of color in the right spot in every spot on this model.
Yeah.
And when I break it down into that, like thinking of it like pixels almost in my head, I'm just like, okay, well, I can mix that color. Mm-hmm. And if I can mix that color, I can put the color in the right spot because I can just look at it as a 1-for-1. So then what's the problem? Well, then the problem is it just takes a long time. So it's like, okay, how can I get better at intuitively knowing where those colors go and how to, like, what colors need to go where? And that, once you start building up that intuition of like understanding how light works and things like that, that makes your life a lot easier too.
What the content creators have in the background, which does include reference images, yeah?
Okay, chat, we all guessed it, but Jordan is actually a robot. Uh-oh, stream's struggling.
Is it again?
It dipped for just a short second.
Blood Walrus went to the Art Institute in Chicago recently and found myself looking at the paintings in completely new ways.
Yep.
Yeah. Baby J's hot new tip for mini painting: learn pixel art.
Eh, sort of. I mean, to some extent, it's not so much a trick or something that like it's a insight into how I think about things sometimes.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you guys need to think it through that way, but it can inspire you to like think about things in interesting ways and come up with your own sort of weird, quirky ways of like finding the right solutions. You don't always have to use mine.
Pixel art is basically what I do when I cross stitch, because it's all tiny little squares.
Yep. And you know, worth noting, if you, I don't know how many of you have looked at how like hyperrealism artists paint or draw like hyperrealism. They put it on a grid.
Yeah.
They literally grid, they
Yeah.
paint squares on a grid to get everything to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have to do that to get that to that level, then to some extent, why should I expect that I would not have to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's like, once you understand what it takes for other things to happen, you go, oh, it's not some weird, mysterious, mystical thing that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
This makes a lot of sense that they're doing this, and this is why they're having such good success with it, because they're breaking down a big problem into a really, really small solution, right? So that was an eye-opening experience for me when I learned that.
I love pointillism too. When I was teaching, the art teacher did that once a quarter, like with every class, and I always love to see the dots, like just where everything was. So they would draw basically an outline and then use just dots, and they would just use ballpoint pen, just like a plain blue or black pen, and concentrate them in areas where they wanted more shading, spread them apart when they wanted more light. It was really neat.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that's worth noting as well, getting good at other art forms also teaches you a lot about art in general.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if, for instance, one of the things that I really want to do is I want to get better at illustration. I want to get better at drawing. Because it's a thing that I kind of can do right now, not super well, but I have the ability to do it to some extent. But I'd like to learn how to do it properly and do it the right way and understand what the processes are, because in learning those processes, you're always going to find something that you're like, oh, I could apply that to what I'm doing over here in painting miniatures, and vice versa, right? So like, for me, if I went to doing like digital illustration, I would have a really, really good understanding of color, lighting, things like that. It's the creation of the original character, design, or whatever, that's the hard part for me, because I'm not good at that already. So when you start linking all of these different skill sets together, all of a sudden things start to become easier and easier and easier and easier and easier, because you have all of these like aspects of things that you've learned about, that you take a little piece from here, take a little piece from here, adapt it here, and you can fit this puzzle together where you're just like, okay, I understand all of the different aspects of doing this. Now I can do it easier.
Yeah.
So try stuff out. Try oil painting. Like, pick up a canvas and just try some 2D art. Do all sorts of weird stuff. Do crafts. You never know. You never know when making necklaces will help you when you go to paint a necklace sometime and you're like, oh, I know what that looks like.
Finger painting background fails? Nah. You see Jason uses fingers when he paints his miniatures.
Yeah, I use mine. Am I weird for wanting to paint minis but have zero interest in any of the visual art?
No.
That's totally fine. No. That's not weird.
You like what you like.
Yeah, you like what you like.
Totally fine. That's why Shelby would be such a great painter because she knits so much. I'll tell her you said that.
That's so funny. Mini painting has actually made me better at your day job, graphic design.
Oh,
Not
sure.
surprising.
Yeah.
And I bet you there's a lot of things that you've gotten from graphic design that you can apply in your miniature painting.
Papa Chicken has said it sounds a lot like coding. The more languages I learn, the faster I'm able to learn others.
Totally.
Tricks that are well known in one code base aren't really talked about in others. It's cool. Get inspired, visit museums, check all kinds of art in person, not just Google images. It will provide all kinds of ideas and knowledge.
Yeah, it's
Art,
true.
But I, like we said before, just real stuff. It's all around you.
Yep.
The Artist Opus Noosh video when he used his fingers. It's possible.
Hey, there's I mean I do a bunch of like smudging with my fingers on models all the time. Yeah. You guys see me do it.
Zambies was a graphic designer before she did mini painting. Fun fact, Zambies, I think they're still on the website. Are they still on the website?
What's that?
A couple like caricatures of me and Jason with Cora.
Oh, was that Zambies?
Zambies drew those.
Oh, that's cool.
Still there.
Because there's one with Ruben too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's if they're still there.
I think so.
Out of us. Yep, there they are. Oh, it's just ours now.
No.
Rubens is not on there.
It's weird. It's Gabe's fault.
Probably Gabe's fault. Gabe. Yeah, me, Jason, and Cora. So if you go to monumenthobbies.com and you click on the About Us, scroll down, there's an illustration. Me, Jason, and Cora that was created by Zambies.
I did not know that was Zambies. That's cool.
It was when there were only 4 of us. It was me, Jason, Ruben, and Eamon. And there was one for each of us. His with his dog as well. Your wife asks opinions on her press-on nail designs all the time because of my mini painting. Sure. It's similar. I mean, the intricate designs that go on some of those fingernails. Addie, who works for us, does she does nail stuff.
Her nails are actually really cool. I noticed them the other day.
Yeah. It worked. I went to look. It wasn't about the cute puppies. It was about looking at some artwork from Zambies.
Got him. Get him to the website.
Yes. Mini painting has helped you become a stay-at-home astronaut. That's awesome.
Stay-at-home astronaut?
I don't know.
The grays coming together. Oh, I realized I didn't actually add more water to my wet palette today. I was like, why is this paint drying out so quickly? Peanut Gallery is so loud today. Loud. It's okay. Watch any good shows last night, Jen?
I watched The Voice.
Oh,
The-
I like The Voice.
I like The Voice. They've changed it a little bit. I haven't watched it for a while.
That's the one that like is reality TV that doesn't feel like reality TV.
Yeah,
to me.
it's not. It's nice. It's
It's just
uplifting. It's
cool.
wholesome. It's supportive.
Yeah.
It's not like I watched the early seasons of American Idol, but then the weeks before the actual competition started,
Mhm.
they were just so mean. They showed some really bad people and like
Yeah.
made fun of them. I just hated that.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching it. The Voice doesn't do that.
No.
They
They really try to. I feel like The Voice, more than many of the other ones, really tries to just promote like
Yeah.
people who don't like otherwise wouldn't have an
Yeah.
opportunity to
Yeah.
be seen, which is really cool.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing musicians out there.
It's
that-
incredible.
yeah,
Like,
it's crazy.
People get better every year. It seems like. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't, but it's just they attract more people, that have amazing talent.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, there's like, just TikTok. There's so many people who are just like
Oh,
so
yeah.
incredibly talented,
YouTube,
just
TikTok.
singing and playing music.
Yep,
And I
it's
see them all
crazy.
on TikTok. But yeah, so The Voice started last night, so I watched that.
Oh, it just started a new season.
It just started.
Oh, cool.
Brand new season, and Snoop Dogg is one of the coaches. And I
No,
love him.
he's not.
He is one of my all-time favorites.
Oh.
So I was like, all right, I have to watch. I don't.
Who's
love...
he on with?
So it's Snoop Dogg, Reba McEntire, who I don't love,
Oh, okay.
but it was like Snoop made it watchable.
Interesting.
Gwen Stefani
Okay.
and Michael Bublé.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think Michael Bublé might be new.
Is
I
it?
think he's the first.
I
time
thought
that
he was
he's ever done it.
British. Oh,
He's not.
I didn't realize he was American.
No, please.
I really like. So from time to time, I'll go watch like clips of, like the like compilation clips that they have of like some of the best ones
Yeah.
ever or whatever. I really like when will.i.am was on The Voice UK for a long time,
Okay.
or for a little while.
Yeah.
I really like his music.
Uh-huh.
Also, he's really funny on the
Yeah.
show.
Michael Bublé is Canadian, according to source. That seems right.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. He's non-American. No, it's funny. Apparently, I watched a clip not too long ago. Somebody who had written one of his songs came up and was
yeah.
on The Voice.
Yeah, yeah.
And he didn't know the person like in Facebook.
Right, yeah.
It was just
Give
like
me the
some
song.
random song that he he did like a while ago. It wasn't like a super popular one. And the guy was like, "Yeah, I actually wrote one of your songs." Blah blah. Blah. He's like, "What have you done in the past?" He's like, "Yeah, I actually wrote one of your songs." He's like, "What song?"
Yeah.
He was like, "This one." He's like, "Oh, that's cool." And he ended up having him on his team, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it was
the
good.
fun stuff like that.
I enjoyed it. We'll probably watch it because of Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched it like actively
Yeah.
while it's been airing.
It's one that Jason and I can actually watch together. He
Yeah.
likes it because he's got a music background, so he looks at it from a different kind of like he looks at it like from a production type music production standpoint of like what sounds good, and so it's really interesting to watch it with him. Of course, he's not.
Yeah, he's missing a great conversation.
He's violently Canadian.
He's violently Canadian. That's funny.
He doesn't sound overly Canadian when he speaks, so I didn't realize.
I mean, Canadians don't really sound too much different
Some
unless
of them
they're from
do.
specific
Yeah,
parts
I
of
was gonna say,
Canada.
some of them sure do. Yeah, Teeny, we're talking about The Voice, which I know there's a UK version, so I'm sure you've heard it.
I knew a bit about a thing.
I liked.
Canadians.
I really liked John Legend when he was on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He was really good, and Alicia Keys is really good when
Mhm.
she was a coach on it. They're both just so positive and like chill, and I really liked them. Gwen Stefani is fine. It's an interesting choice that she's on there because her voice is so unique and not necessarily like appealing to everyone. I don't
Gwen?
think. Gwen Stefani,
Hmm.
yeah. You've managed to never watch it. It's one that we were just saying that I haven't watched it in quite a long time, but it just started last night, and just me and the dog at home. Jason's gone, so like, what should I put on? There it was.
The Voice season 30.
I mean, it's probably yeah.
Probably.
Because they do it a couple times a year, so
Yeah.
the season is not the.
I
Because
think they do it
Survivor
twice a year, right?
is season like 48 or something like
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Insane. That started last week.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that they've started to do The Voice like all over the world.
Yeah.
They do it in so many places now.
A lot of those shows, though, they have that, and they have versions in other countries. Like there's The Bachelor in Canada and Australia, and
I think one of my favorite moments. There's an episode where I think it's The Voice UK, where Megan Trainor does a funky like ad hoc duet with I forget the dude's last name, but Ollie. Anyways, they both wrote a song that sounds identical.
oh really?
It's like literally like somebody ripped off
Yeah,
somebody else here.
yeah.
It is like they're the same song.
Yeah. So they sang it.
And they sang it, and
yeah.
they just like traded off singing
Yeah.
each other's song, and it was
That's funny.
really really funny.
That
clip.
sounds funny.
I'll see if I can find it. And I'll send it to you. I think you'd like it.
Took a work call, came back, and I'm confronted by the phrase "violently Canadian," and that's a mood. It was used to
I love
describe
Canadians.
Michael Bublé. Michael Bublé is violently Canadian. Favorite reality show is The Great British Sewing Bee. Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. Because like the Great British Baking Show is awesome, or Bake Off, whatever they call it. I love stuff like that. We have one here that's like a craft show. It's basically the Bake Off, but it's crafts. It's called, I can't remember.
I mean, the great.
Something Maker, and it's hosted by Ron Swanson.
No.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Leslie Knope. So it's Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman are the hosts. Because Quebec is Quebec, if there's a Canadian version of a popular reality show, there will also be a Quebec, like their own, like Canadian Bachelor and Quebec Bachelor.
That does
Even
not
though
surprise me at
they're
all.
in the same country.
Isn't Quebec is where all the like French Canadian
Frenchies,
popular?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. I will tell Shelby because Shelby is super into like sewing type stuff, knitting and not
Yeah,
knitting, crocheting.
That's funny.
Where can I binge? I should just Google this and see if it's available for me to watch here.
Wouldn't be surprised if it was floating around somewhere.
I'm sure it's streaming some. Sewing Bee. How to watch it on only on BBC iPlayer. If you are outside of the UK, you can use a VPN to unblock BBC iPlayer. All right,
Well.
so not so widely available, is it? Yeah, I have to have a VPN. Okay, I might have to wait on that. Face Off on Netflix was one of your favorite reality competition shows.
Oh, that was cool.
Which one was that?
Wait. Yes. Is that the prosthetics one?
I was gonna say, I feel like it's like the makeup
It was the makeup and prosthetics one. I
movie
think.
effects,
Yeah.
makeup, prosthetics, stuff like that.
I remember watching that a bunch back in the day.
Movie makeup sculpts. Nailed it. And another one I can't watch here. Nailed it as American. Oh.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
I don't know what that is. Oh, is that like the fails? Human bakers who have a poor track record in the kitchen seek redemption and cash on the series. Oh, yeah, okay. Home bakers with a terrible track record take a crack at recreating edible masterpieces. So, nailed it. Like a Pinterest fail. We have one, on the Food Network has one that's like the worst cooks in America or something like that.
Oh God.
Yeah. Still waiting for the great mini paint off. I know. I would watch that show all day. Did you decide if you're going to put more orange on the shoulders?
I am. I'm gonna get that gray done first.
That gray adds a lot to it, though, right there.
Yeah. Working it up slowly. This kind of like middle stage of the gray, it can be a little bit difficult. Forged in Fire is cool, yeah. That one's neat.
Speaking of Face Off, does anyone remember Hot Set? That one.
Mm-mm.
Sticks, I think the next paints I'll buy are dark, warm flesh and transparent orange to try to recreate the mix Jordan used on the Amazon Snake Lady. Warm
Oh, yeah.
brown, dark, warm flesh and transparent orange.
Yeah, I used a lot of transparent orange to add a lot of warmth back in. The base was advanced flesh tone as well. I don't know if you have that already, but that's definitely a really important part of that mix. What's up, Captain Mainerings? Tech Elf.
Oh, is Hot Set about like building stage sets?
Jeep Nate, thank you for the sub. 52 months. Howdy.
Hey, Nate.
Yeah, yes, the trust the process stage. Yep. Been there, done that. Man alive. Let me tell you.
Nate, we have on our website the color brochure. So if you go to the tab where it says shop, and then under the paints column, the first thing is color brochure. So it's not really a checklist, but it's everything we have.
You could definitely use it.
You can
You
use
could
it
print
as
it
a
off and
checklist,
use it
for
as a
sure.
checklist.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You keep buying dark jade, like you don't already have to. I mean, it's a good color.
I definitely have a couple of colors at home that I've like bought extra
Yeah.
bottles of on accident.
We get contacted by people a lot being like, hey, so I just placed an order and then I looked at my paint collection and realized I already have this. Can I swap it? Yes.
I'm easy. I just go, I'll go
I'll
through it
use it
eventually.
eventually.
Yeah.
I'll add advanced flesh tone to the cart. That was another paint I was going to get to recreate the suntan skin tone used on the Barbarian Mini in the short
Yep.
we have.
Yeah, you need it for Snake Lady as well. And if you want the shadow color for Snake Lady as well, that was Dark Sea Ben. And to be clear, that was for her skin. That was a shadow color for her skin.
Paint rack also a good way to keep track.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yep.
Oh, it's 346, George.
Yeah, I just heard Shannon say it was 3:45.
Oh, did you? Oh.
Yeah. I heard her down the hall talking to somebody else about labeling and that it was 3:45. I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, so it is. Try to visit former students that are working in the profession that I've taught them. Proud teacher moments. That's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. That's got to feel good too when like you see a student where they're learning stuff and they're
Yeah.
excited about something and they have a passion for something, and then you get to see them excelling at that later
Yeah.
on in life. That's got to be one of the coolest things about being a teacher.
Yeah.
I imagine.
So a teacher that I used to work with, she taught public school and then she taught for a while at ASU in the teachers college.
Yeah.
So she was teaching future teachers and perfect person for it because she was like just really really motivational, very inspiring, just a really kind person. And I've just followed. I mean, I haven't seen her in probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
but just following her, you know, on social media and staying in touch with her that way. She is just so enthusiastic about supporting her students.
That's awesome.
So she would go and visit them in their classrooms, you know, just as a, hey, you know, I care about how you're doing. And,
Just checking
you know,
in.
Yeah. And like the graduation ceremonies were always a big deal for her because they're finished, and you know, so yeah, it's really cool. And I've stayed in touch with a few of my students, but I taught English, so they're
That's
not
cool. Any of them doing crazy, exciting things?
not English related. No.
Well, they don't have to be English related.
No, yeah. No, but it's cool to see, just to see them as adults and to see their life, because I knew them when they were 13.
Yeah.
You know, so like my two students who got married earlier this year, that was really cool. That I got to go to their wedding.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Was it a cool wedding?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Very nice. And
Winky.
I knew their the groom, I knew had a couple of his siblings as well.
That's
so I
so
got to
funny.
see them, and yeah.
What a blast from the past sort of experience.
And then some of their friends that were guests at the wedding were their friends from junior high. So, you know, I saw a couple other students that I knew. Very much an honor to be invited to that.
I would love to go to a class reunion of my year. That would be so weird. I'm just curious, just to see,
Like your high school reunion?
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't gone.
Well, it happened during COVID.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Well,
so,
my
huh?
tenure was
Yeah.
was during COVID because
Yeah.
I graduated in 11, so
Okay. Yeah,
2021.
I guess.
So
Get that opportunity, yeah.
yeah, it would have been really, really interesting to see where everybody's at.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like have kids now.
Yeah.
But like even some of the people that like I didn't know as well would be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
Like
I just didn't
Yeah.
know anyone at school. My school was so big that I had 5 friends, and I'm still in touch with all of
Yeah.
them.
I wonder who ended up being like the most successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be cool to like
Yeah.
who got off the best out of
Yeah.
school. Because I bet you it's probably somebody who I was not expecting.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't heard of any like names of like known people from my high school that have done anything newsworthy. There was one basketball player, a really good basketball player that I was friends with, that I thought I thought he would play basketball. I think he hurt himself. But I did see him. I would randomly see him at Phoenix Suns games because he owned. He ended up starting like a concessions business
Oh, cool.
in the all the sports venues.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how profitable that actually is. Because I imagine they probably pay out the nose just to be there.
Well, yeah. Which is why all the food and stuff
Is
at
so
those
crazy.
places is so expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that anyone I went to high school with in my year or the years around me is like famous. The morning radio DJ went to my high school.
Oh, that's cool.
Local guy.
I don't even think I have my old yearbooks anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I think I tossed them a while ago. Turns out, as you get older, you think more
They're
about...
big and heavy, and who wants to move them?
Correct. The really interesting one is some of my old friends from back when I lived in California.
Uh-huh.
So like long time ago. I'm still friends with them on Facebook, and I see what they get up to a lot of the time. One of them is a fairly successful DJ, which is cool.
Oh, cool.
And the other one like travels the world doing like news articles or something. I don't know. He spent a lot of time in like Israel and
Oh, wow.
that part of the world doing, I don't know, articles.
Like journalism type stuff, kind of?
Maybe? I don't know.
Tech Elf, yes. You will find ProAcryl on the Paint Rack app.
Also, you're very welcome. I have a special appreciation for, especially now that I've spent a lot more time teaching other people how to paint.
Mm-hmm.
I have an appreciation for people who commit their lives to imparting knowledge to other people. Like I have a newfound respect for it that I would not have had otherwise.
Yeah.
So, not to mention the fact that like teachers are in general pretty not well compensated for the work that they do.
Yeah.
And are largely unappreciated.
Yeah.
I think that it would be really interesting if I were to go back through school at my age now, like what it would be like.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine like
I think a lot of
going
people
back-
feel that way, you know, like when I would tell people that I was a teacher, and then especially because the first question is always, well, what did you teach?
Sure, of course, yeah.
And then when I told that, the reactions were like, what? Because people have the memories of junior high as like the worst years. Like I hated junior high, or I was terrible to my teachers in junior high. I was such a rotten kid in junior high, or you know, there was a lot of, I would say, I teach 8th graders, and a lot of bless you, you know, like
I was definitely a frustrating student.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my teachers were really frustrated because I was doing poorly, not because I wasn't understanding the material, but because I didn't care to do homework. And I excelled at the material. I just couldn't be bothered to do homework. So
common occurrence,
which is super common. Yeah, super duper common.
And what, especially now that I'm so far removed from it, you know,
of homework. Yeah. I honestly, I think that the most things that I absorbed from a learning perspective were all done in person in the classroom.
Yeah. I always tried to impart my belief that you get your stuff done right away, and then you have the rest of the time to do whatever. So I was like, we are going to focus at the beginning of class, get through the stuff we need to get through, and then whatever time is left, if there's work that you have to do, you start it.
Yeah.
You know, and you use your time, and if you don't feel like doing the work, then it's your responsibility to finish it before you come to class tomorrow. I
definitely like the idea of like treating the school day as work.
Yeah.
Like you establish for the kids, you're like, look, you guys are going to be in the workforce for the vast majority of your lives.
Yeah.
And this is a way for you to understand
Yeah.
or start to figure out
you have
in
to
a
tell
safer
them, because
place.
they're like, well, it's my job, but I'm not getting paid. Why don't I get paid? Like, so it's on the job training. Like, this is your training for your life. And a lot of jobs, you're not going to get paid when you're in training. So.
Yeah. But I like the idea of like, you think about it from some perspective, you're like, I go to work, and then when I come home, I have the ability to relax and do whatever I want when I'm at home. So in my mind, if you're at school, you should, and you're working, you should be doing all of your learning while you're there. And then you go home and you relax. You do whatever you need to do to get yourself refreshed for the next day, and you come in and you learn. So, correct. You're right. It doesn't always work that way, but also that's the way I wish it were able to work. Elementary and junior high school teachers are a very special breed of person. Yeah. Correct. I love teachers. I think teachers are great. I just didn't do it. I was a belligerent kid. I I had very strong opinions, and I did not do things that I did not want to do. So I came home and I was like, screw that stuff. Why are they making me do this at home? I understand all this stuff. So I just didn't do it. And then I would always try and like do it right before I had to turn it in the next day, and it just never worked out. I also hated writing, so that was kind of difficult. The idea of writing essays just like made me want to cry. So it's touch. It's tough. Sort of too much to teach other than college or high school. It's really tough, right? Because there's some like core things that you need to know, but I think a lot of like, and we've talked a little bit about my opinions on it, and this is just my opinions not being in the industry, so like I don't really know, but it makes sense in my head of like school should be for learning the things that you're interested in learning. Because like, man, when I got out of school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Why I didn't go to college, because I didn't want to waste money on a tuition for something that I wasn't sure that I was gonna do. Because I just would have gone to like, I don't know, do some sort of silly business degree or something like that, which to be fair would have been good. You can utilize it, but it feels like such a cop out. You're like, this, if I'm spending money, I should be spending money on something where I'm going to learn things about something that I'm really interested in, that I want to spend my life doing. And like, if business is a part of that, then that's great. It makes sense. But I could not justify it if I couldn't tell myself that that was what I wanted to do. So I went in the workforce. I started working at Best Buy. I worked at T-Mobile. And I eventually stumbled into something that I love to do, right? And I was already pretty good at, because I did it as a hobby. So, and I was good at selling stuff. I was never bad at it. I was always good at building relationships and rapport with people. Never a problem I had. Which is why I'm good at doing this. So, happy to be here with you guys, because you guys are awesome. Make my life better. Very much. I did a part-time degree in your 30s once I'd worked out what I wanted from it. Exactly. Teeny tiny victories. If I wasn't doing this, I would be doing that. You always hated math. It was the worst. Probably had dyscalculia. Yeah, Eep Cheap Nate. I worked at Privateer. I worked at Privateer for 3.5 years. 3 years? Something like that. I was there for a while. Peopling is hard. I think it's only gotten easier as I've stopped giving as many Fs. Yeah. It's tough because we care, right? Like, internally as human beings, we care about doing things correctly. We care about, like, people liking the things that we do. It's tough. Yeah, too much niceties happening now. Let's bash Canada. You used to come into chat here when you worked there? No, but I did stream while I was there for a while. I think for the last like year and a half, 2 years that I was there, we streamed every Wednesday. I think it was either like Tuesdays and Thursdays, or it was like every Wednesday or something like that. I did basically what I do here, in less freeform sort of sense. There was somebody who worked there that frequented chat. I mean, there is somebody who used to work there that frequents chat right now. CF3PO. It might have been Dallas back in the day. Potentially. I know Dallas and Jason knew each other pretty well. That's probably the only person I can think of, potentially. It might have been somebody else random. We're making headway, chat. I don't think it was me. I might have popped in every once in a while and said hello. Like, obviously, Jason and I have been friends for a long time. I met him while I was at Privateer. I think I met him, it would have been 2018 at, what the heck is the name of that show? War Machine Weekend is when I would have met him for the first time, I'm pretty sure. I met him at War Machine Weekend, and then I would have met him at, maybe it was LVO at the beginning of 2018. It was either then or War Machine Weekend, one of the two. But I met him at a show. So, also agree that teachers rule and need better pay. I agree. I'd put my tax dollars towards that. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. Jen will be back here in just a minute. She'll throw up some links. We'll get you guys squared away. Yeah. Do a little bit of the outro now. We can talk a little bit. We are going to find somebody to raid you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Don't forget we stream Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Oh, that is going to change soon-ish, by the way. If any of you are new here or have not gone through a time change with us yet, Arizona is weird. We do not move our clocks for daylight savings time. So we will remain at the same time here in Arizona. But if you are anywhere else outside of Arizona or in a place that has daylight savings time, once the clocks move back on November 3rd, it sounds like, from Okren, weird equals smart. Hey, look, I don't judge, okay? Once those clocks change, the time of the stream will change for everybody else. So, it will be 1 hour later, I think, right? Fall back. Yes. Bring forward, fall back. Oh, wait. Earlier? No, later. Yeah, later. Be 1 hour later. Yes. So, for a lot of you, just make sure that you guys know as it comes up. We'll talk about it a lot more as it gets closer to that time as well. But I figured I'd start letting you guys know now so that you can know that the changes will be coming soon. In Paint Rack, you can make sets. I'm going to make recipes from the Monument Hobby shorts. You should do that. That is awesome. Can't believe we're still doing daylight savings. I know that wasn't there like a national bill that was talking about knocking it out last year that they were trying to get rid of it altogether, and then like for some reason it didn't go through. I don't remember. I think it was tied to some other thing. Maybe it's earlier. I don't remember. We go from no, it would be later for some people. So like if you're in so whatever time it would be for you, it would be 1 hour later. Because fallback spring ahead. Because we go from being on Pacific time, which is 4 o'clock, 4:08 right now, to being I don't know. My brain doesn't work. We'll figure it out. Jen might know. Jen's coming back right now. Does the stream time for everybody else move back or forward?
So fall is back.
So it'll
So
be
you fall back.
So it'll be earlier.
It will be.
Because back depends on your point of view.
Let's see. So we will be streaming at the same time as like Colorado.
Right.
And so we're now.
Because our time stays the same.
Our time doesn't change.
Everybody else's time changes 1 hour later or 1 hour earlier?
They go back. So it's.
Okay.
I think it's an hour earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I had the same problem that you encountered when I was trying to go through it. I was like, I don't know.
Right, because you guys who change your clocks, you lose an hour, right? You turn your clock backwards. Be 2 to 4 Utah time.
Yeah, because the idea is that you get more time of daylight.
Okay,
right?
yeah. So you'll be. No, it's. You can't be forward for one and back for another. I think it's back. So like Game Delay is saying, it should start an hour earlier.
Yeah.
For you.
Because the whole point is that because we have more hours of darkness, the clock moves backwards, as in earlier, so that we have more time with sunlight during the day.
Right.
Is the whole point, right? So then the clock will turn back an hour. So if, for instance, with daylight savings time, it would be right, exactly, because we end up being 1 hour later than Pacific, and Pacific would go back down to 3. So it'd be 3 for Pacific right now, where it's 4 for us.
Sure.
So it will be 1 hour earlier than normal.
But this is like a month and a half away still.
I was just bringing it up while you were gone.
We got plenty of time to figure it out. We don't have to solve this right now.
I did just solve it. I figured it out. It is 1 hour earlier. I had to wrap my brain around how it functions. And once I wrapped my brain around how it functions, I was like, oh yes, this makes more sense now. It's all about
I think the rumor is that it was for farmers, but I don't really think it was.
I thought it was too.
I think it was for banks.
I was also under the impression that it was for farmers so that they had more daylight
Like I said,
hours,
that's the rumor, but there will be people who get very aggressively wanting to correct you on that.
Fair. All right, everybody.
And we don't do it, so I don't care. Like, I don't care the reason.
That's the thing. I don't think about it anymore.
I don't
right?
think about it.
That's why it's so hard for me to figure it out.
I'm not fighting with anyone about what the original intention was behind daylight saving time.
Make sure you guys check out all the links. We got the store link up there for you guys to find all the fantastic paints we've been using on stream today. Check out the FLGS link so you can find local game stores near you that you can also purchase our products from to support them. And then check out the Discord link. You guys can join in all of our Discord challenges, as well as all of our fun and awesome hobby talk and just generic fun times in there. And then check out our YouTube. We've got all of our shorts on there for our tutorials, as well as all of our long form video tutorials. We've got that new video up about transparency, so you guys should check it out. We are going to find somebody to raid. You guys will have a wonderful rest of your evening with some more hobby content.
Kenny got stuck in a big storm, I think.
Kenny got stuck in a big storm.
Well, he lives in Florida, and it's hurricane right now. And,
there is?
Yeah. So he made a post that his stream was going to be, if it happens, it would be late. Definitely not on right now. So hopefully he's safe. If you guys are in Florida or in hurricane territory, please stay safe.
Please.
And we'll figure something out, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.